viewers ready? Give our undivided attention.
Okay, so imagine this. The biggest game in America with half a minute left, tied 17-17. Tom Brady drops back on his own 40-yard line and dimes the ball to wide receiver Troy Brown. After that, he throws a pass to tight end Jermaine Wiggins, who jumps out of bounds on the 30-yard line. After a 48-yard field goal, the New England Patriots win the game, or win the Super Bowl. So now imagine doing this 7 different times. Tom Brady is the only person who made that happen. So knowing about Tom Brady is important because he was an underdog coming out of college. He was drafted in the 6th round, so that meant nobody really believed in him. So he used that to fuel his desires, right? So he put everything he had into football, and that just shows if you put everything you have into something, the outcome's going to be great. Because I'm a lifelong football fan, I believe it's important to know about Tom Brady's greatness and what exactly makes him good. Okay. So Tom Brady is the GOAT of football. Today I will talk about his overall production as a player compared to other players, and his football mindset and how it's better than other players. To begin, I will talk about his overall production as a player, specifically his accomplishments, his stats, and his longevity. So Tom Brady has won 7 Super Bowls, and that's the most in NFL history. Only 10% of players get a Super Bowl in their early career, right? And only 0.5% win more than 3 in their whole lifetime. He often gets compared to Joe Montana and Eli Manning, but with better stats and more championship rings. In the 2011 season, Tom Brady threw for over 5,200 yards and passed Dan Marino's single-season passing yard record, according to Britannica Encyclopedia. Another thing that made him good was his stats. Tom Brady had completed over 7,700 passes, with 649 touchdowns and only 212 interceptions. Only 3 other quarterbacks had records or had ratios just as good: Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady also has the most single-season records for touchdowns and interceptions, with 28-2. He also has the most in-game winning drives in history, with 58. That shows when his team needed him the most, he carried the team and won the game. The most famous example was his comeback in Super Bowl 51, when Tom Brady was down 28-3. During halftime, he spoke to his team and gave a great speech. And after that, they won the Patriots won the game 34-28 and won the Super Bowl. And another thing that made Tom Brady really good was his longevity. He played for 23 seasons in his career. He played for 335 games and won 286 of them. And that's the most in NFL history. Only one other player who played as long as him, named George Blaine, and he did not win anything in his career. So when comparing Tom Brady to LeBron James in the sports, according to Fox Sports, an analytic named Chris Broussard said, so you can argue that LeBron James is a better player, but just by dominance alone, Tom Brady owned the NFL. So I've talked about his production and how it's better than other players. Now I'm going to talk about his mindset and how that made him great. So his mindset and his decision making was something of a leader. Tom Brady had a radical accountability. This meant that he took ownership for everything. And he refused to blame the coaches and the teammates. And when something went wrong, he took everything on him. So this meant as a leader, he took all the accountability and owned every mistake that went wrong. According to an interview in the website called How Leaders Lead, Tom Brady discusses how he grew as a player to take on more accountability and responsibility. And he also wanted to inspire others to do the exact same. In the interview, he says, nobody is perfect, and everybody makes mistakes. So in order to win a game, you gotta make more good things happen than bad things happen. Also, Tom Brady gained a lot of experience in his playing time in the NFL. If you look at his stats in his later years, he has way more touchdowns and less interceptions than his early years and even his prime. And the last thing that made Tom Brady so great was his preparation. So he already studied his opponents in great depth. He took note of their movement, the patterns, and the tendencies and play styles. On live TV, Tom Brady brags about how he studied the Chiefs so much before the Super Bowl, he knew their defense better than they did themselves. And that's how he won the game. So according to Jay Scapone on CNBC.com, Tom Brady would start off his mornings by waking up at 6 a.m. and drinking electrolyte water. Then he'd eat a protein shake with bananas, berries, and nuts. And after that, he waits 2 hours for his food to fully digest before he starts working out. And this is important because when athletes take care of their bodies really nicely, they play better. This kind of shows what he did to play the best to his ability. And also, when he was working out, he didn't use free weights. He used to use exercise bands to make sure he wasn't sore from the workouts. And for his meals, he would, like during lunch, like most of his food is like mainly vegetables. And this just shows the measures Tom Brady took to become a great player. So after talking about Tom Brady's football mindset, now I'm going to conclude. So after talking about Tom Brady's overall football production and his elite mindset, now you understand why he's the greatest of all time. So next time you hear the name Tom Brady, don't just think, oh, he's a football player. Think of him as the football player. And recognize him as the unrivaled GOAT of football. Thank you.